All right, hey guys. So a couple of things. One, from here on out, when you are taking notes, you're just going to do it directly on your Google Slides. So, like for instance, like you'll write on here, so you can use all these tools in order to do it. A couple of things: you can insert a text box right here. You can draw lines. You can move images around. But that way I know that you are taking notes and so you can get credit for that. Okay, so which one does not belong? So select the figure that doesn't belong and explain why. So take a minute, pause the video, and think about it. Which one does not belong? Okay, so there's no wrong answer. Okay. So with that being said, you could have picked any one of these. Okay, and then said, oh, this is why. So with figure one, that's probably the first one I would go with, is this one does not create a 90-degree angle. Doesn't create a 90-degree angle. Okay. The other ones you could probably come up with, for instance, this is the only one that doesn't have A and B listed. This is the one that's the largest. This is the one that doesn't have the same number on both sides. You can come up with stuff like that. Okay. All right, so today we're going to talk about understanding reflections in the line of reflection and draw reflections on the coordinate plane. Okay, so use the image above to explore the properties of the reflections. Okay, so reflect the rectangle DEFG about the x-axis. Okay, so really quick, this is the x-axis. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to take each point and we're going to put it over that, equidistant away from that line. So for instance, this F right here is 1 away from this line. So on the other side, I'm going to go, not dry, 1 away from that line. All right, F prime. Okay. Now they did these other ones for us already. So remember, pre-image is what we started with. So that's a -5, 5, which is right here. And the post-image, okay, is -5, -5, because that's 5 units away from that line. E, they already did it for us as well. It's right here, -2, 5. So that's going to be right here at -2, -5. And the last one, G, is 1 unit right here away from this line. So it's going to be 1 unit away from this line. And say G prime. Now you're going to connect all of those. I'm so sorry, it's not straight. There we go. Okay, and if you want to list out those points over here, just so you know where they are, F is located at -2, 1. F prime is located at -2, -1. And G is located at -5, 1. And G prime is located at -5, -1. Okay, so what is the rule for the reflection across the x-axis? So looking at this, look at what happens to our y value each time we change the sign of it, right? So the rule for this one is you're going to keep x and you're going to change the sign of y. Okay, so putting that negative in front, it's going to change the sign of that y. Okay, draw the line segment connecting the vertices of the pre-image and the image. So pre-image to image. It's gonna be like here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. What's the relationship between these line segments and the line of reflection? What's the relationship between the line segment and the line of reflection? Okay, they run parallel. They are parallel. What's the relationship between these line segments and the line of reflection? And the x values are the same. For pre-image to post-image. Okay. All right, so now we're going to reflect about the y-axis. Okay, so remember, y-axis is right here. Okay, so we're going to swap now. Instead of switching the y values, we're going to switch the x values. So this is h. H is located at -1, 2. And we're going to go equidistant onto the other side. So we're going to go, this is 1 away from the y-axis. We're going to switch it to 1 away on the other side. And so that's going to be 1, 2. K is located at 5, 2. I'm going to do this one first. Sorry. 5, 2. And we want it on the opposite side. So this is 5 units away from that. So we're going to be 5 units away over here. So that's going to be -5, 2. J is located at 2, 4. And so this one's going to be at -2, 4. And we're going to connect the dots. Yeah. Ta-da! Okay, so what's the rule for this one? Well, let's look at our x's and our y's. What happened between the pre-image to the post-image? All that happened is we switched the sign of the x value. So we're going to change the sign of the x value. So without drawing a picture, tell me the coordinates of each image. So take a second, pause the video, and I want you to try those 4, reflecting about the x and the y-axis. Okay. Okay, so looking at this first one, it says reflective about the x-axis, and we learned that this is the rule, so we're changing the sign of the y value, which is going to be -5. For this one, we're reflecting on the y-axis, so that means we're going to change our x value. It's going to be -9, 6. The next one, I've got -14, -15, reflecting around that y-axis, so we're going to change the x. And that's going to give us 14, -5. And reflected around the x-axis, we're going to change the y value. It's going to give us 6, 11. So it's kind of like whichever line you're reflecting across, the other like variable is what you're changing. So like if we're reflecting across the x-axis, we're changing the y. Okay. Okay. Reflect the rectangle ABCD across the line y equals x. Okay, so a lot of people struggle with this one. This is the line y equals x. Okay, easiest way to plot it is to start at 0, 0, go up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. So you need to know how to plot that line. You can also just like draw it in Desmos, so that's fine too. Okay, so let's go ahead and list out all the pre-images. Okay, so A right here is at -1, 4. B is at 0, 3. C is at -3, 2. And D is at -2, 1. Okay, So now we're going to reflect across this line. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this rule. And then I'll actually show you why it works. So the rule is going to be y comma x. Okay, so what this means is you're going to switch the x and the y. So see how this is -1, 4? Well, the new picture is going to be 4, -1. Boom. Okay. Here you got 0, 3. This is going to be 3, 0. The next one's going to be 2, -3. And the last one, sorry, it's like jammed up together, is going to be 1, -2. Boom. Beautiful picture, right? Okay, so again, another way you could do this is you could say, well, this is 3 units over here. It's up 3, nowhere from left to right. This is going to be over 3 this time. So you're just really the easiest way to do this is to memorize the fact that you're reflecting across y equals x. The rule is, look at that equation, yx. So it's the order that you're reflecting over. Okay. This one a lot of people struggle with, so I would just memorize this rule. Okay. All right, we're going to reflect across the line x equals 1. Now remember, the line x equals 1 is right here. Okay, so you're going to say how far away are each of these points and where would they be on the other side? So 1, 2. I'm going to go over 1, 2. Up here, I would go 1, 2, 3. Over here, I would go 1, 2, 3. And over here, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta-da. Yeah. So what quadrant would be the triangle if we reflected across the line y equals 1? And remember, y equals 1 is down here this time. So what quadrant would that be in? Throw back to your like algebra 1 days. This is your first quadrant. This is your second quadrant. This is your third quadrant. This is your fourth quadrant. So where would that triangle be located? Well, it would be down here, right? So that would be in the third. Okay. Draw the line segments connecting the vertices of the pre-image and post-image. Are these lines perpendicular to the line of reflection? Okay, so I'm assuming that they're still talking about y equals 1. So let's just kind of draw that out. So y equals 1 is right here. Okay, this is where a lot of people make a mistake. You want to go equidistant on the opposite side. So this is 2 units away from the line. You're going to go 2 units down on the other side. Right here, 2 units away, you're going to go 2 units down on the other side. Right here, you're 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now the question is, draw the line segments connecting the vertices of the pre-image. So, are these lines perpendicular to the line of reflection? Yes. Remember, perpendicular is creating a 90-degree angle. Okay. Like every morning, y'all are gonna hear that. I'm so sorry. Triangle JKL has the coordinates that. Under reflection, the coordinates JKL are now that. What was the line of reflection? So really quick, take a look at what happened from J to J prime. Okay, so we've got J, and I'm not even reading this part yet, to J prime. what happened from here to here? Well, the x's stayed the same and the y's changed. Okay, so y's changed. All right. So Bug says it's a reflection across the y axis because the sides of the y coordinates all changed. Daffy Duck said, no, silly. It's a reflection across the x axis since they would cause the y coordinate of the image to change their sign. I don't have a good Daffy Duck voice, nor Bugs Bunny. So which cartoon do you agree with? Well, looking back at the previous slides, you should have seen that if we're changing the y, then that means that we're reflecting across the x-axis. So Daffy Duck was right for the 14 millionth time. Okay. Okay. Now you should have received a copy of this. Okay. So you are going to turn this in, like a physical copy in. This is going to take you a good little while. But I want you to attempt it as best as you can. You have enough time in class to get this done. So please make sure that you actually attempt it. Okay. So if you have any questions on this, you can just send them on Remind. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But you are going to be turning this one in. Okay. I know it's a little bit of reading. You can do it. So on this Google slide, I want you to answer the following questions in complete sentences. What did you learn this week that you didn't know before? And it doesn't have to be super long. Is there something about this week's lesson you are still confused about? If so, what? Okay, so take 2 minutes and write your paper. Okay, this was from a couple of days ago. I think it was Monday. A lot of people never got to this. So what I want you to do is on your slide, you are turning this one in, you're going to take a shape, and you're going to place like the shape over whichever word you think it corresponds to. Okay, just make sure you don't go over 2 different things. Okay, let me go back. So always, sometimes, and never. So if it always happens, you're going to circle that. If it sometimes happens, you're going to circle that. If it never happens, you're going to circle that. Okay, this is just kind of a recap of what we learned on day 1. So you are going to turn this one in. And then Christopher was asked to solve the following question. We did this already, but just go back and see if you can do it on your own. Okay, so if you're not sure on this one, there is a video from yesterday that I went over this in. But I want you to answer it on this slide. Okay, tell me what you agree or disagree with. When you answer those kind of questions, you're going to add like a little text box, and then you're going to type your answer into that. Okay. So remember, with your Google slide, I would suggest when you're watching the video that you kind of have it split screen. I probably should have said at the beginning, but it's okay. So you want to have it split screen so that you can see the video as well as you can see your Google PowerPoint. Okay. But I feel like y'all are tech savvy. You'll figure it out. Okay. Whatever works best for you. So you are submitting the PowerPoint with your notes. So that way I can see that you've taken notes, and that way you can refer back to them. Okay. Now, if you want to write stuff down on paper, that's fine, but you must submit a Google PowerPoint. Okay. If you have any questions or you're still stuck, you are able to come to me during advisement tomorrow, as well as Ms. Hartpence has tutoring hours on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And she's located on the E2nd hall. I think it's like E209. I might be making that up, but I think that's close. And then Miss Starnes has tutoring hours after school on Tuesday, and she's located in D208. Okay. And again, you can come to my classroom, E106. But please make sure that you join the Remind, because that's going to be the easiest way for me to get everybody's questions. There's 300 of y'all and 1 of me. Okay. All right. See you in the next video.